Well, as we end the turn with the militiaman, it's time for Sir Palamon to attempt to marshal some more defenders. So at the end of the last turn of each, at the end of the last hero turn each round, the militiamen have already activated. We have Sir Palamon test his, I think that's willpower of 4 to marshal more defenders. If he passes, we place 1 fatigue token on him and place 1 militiaman on the entrance tile. If he fails, there's no effect and he cannot perform any other actions. So we're going to roll the gray die and the black die and add the shields up, and if it is a 4 or less, then we've got another militiaman on the board. Alright, here's the potential militiaman that's about to possibly enter the game. We've got our gray and black dice. Let's give them a roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is over 4. So, no good. The militiaman does not enter the game, and that's going to finish everything for the heroes. So now it is time for the Overlord to take his actions. This is Robert the Overlord starting my part of the turn. I think the first thing I'm going to do is draw 1 more Overlord card. The other interesting thing for me here as Overlord, it says at the start of your turn, I can place 1 monster from one of my groups or Sir Alric Pharaoh on the laboratory, respecting group's limits. So I think I'm going to place an ogre back in the laboratory. We remember that the Master Ogre had been removed from the game and replaced with a minion with the Undying ability. We're going to bring a Master Ogre back into the game and put him right there. Well, as the Overlord, the first thing I get to do is activate monsters. So choose a monster group and perform 2 actions with each monster in the group. I'm going to start with the zombies. Alright, zombie number 1. He's going to shuffle over here 1 space. And we're going to have him make his attack. Sir Palamon. Looks like he is well armored. So he's going to get a gray and a brown defense dice set. Alright, these are all minion zombies, so we're rolling a blue and a yellow for the attack. And then we've got this extra brown die for defense for Sir Palamon. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to zoom back so you can see all the action. First attack. Well, that's 3 defense, which is quite good. 2 damage. A surge gives me 3 damage. It's not good enough to penetrate the defense of Sir Palamon. Let me see what else the zombies do. We have shambling and disease up here. Shambling. It says this monster may not perform more than 1 move action. Okay, during a single turn. All monsters can only perform 1 attack action anyway, but they can move twice, but zombies can't. They can only move once. Disease. What does this do? If the attack deals at least 1 damage, the target is diseased. Well, we didn't break through the defenses with zombie number 1, so no good there. Zombie number 2 is up next. We're going to have him take a move action and shuffle down 1 space. And he's going to make his attack, still adjacent to Sir Palamon. Zombie number 2. Can he do any better? Okay, only 1 on the defense, and we've got 2 damage and a surge rolled. To 3 damage. If we had an extra surge, we could cause disease. Well, Sir Palamon says he laughs at my disease. It's not going to affect him. Like I said, still learning the game here. But disease could affect the heroes. If you take damage from a zombie and you get the surge and you get diseased, you've got to test your willpower. Otherwise, it's going to start doing you some fatigue damage. So that's not going to affect this NPC, this non-player character. So Sir Palamon is just going to take damage here. So what did we do? We did 2 damage, 1 with the surge, 3, -1 for the shield. 2 damage get through to hurt Sir Palamon. Sir Palamon has 25 health. And to keep track of this, I'm going to use these dice. This is 20 and this is 5. 2 points of damage got through from the zombie attack, from zombie number 2. So we're going to reduce this, and now Sir Palamon has 23 health remaining. Zombie number 3 is also going to shamble down 1 space and make his attack on the adjacent Sir Palamon. Zombie number 3 makes his attack. Nothing there. A great roll there. 3 damage and a surge. The surge is going to pump it up to 4 damage. So we're basically going to do 1 more point of damage to Sir Palamon. So let's zoom in on our dice here and take this down to 22. Well, I'm now going to activate the Ettins. So the first thing they have to do, since they are stunned, is use their first action to remove the stun condition. So we're going to take 1 action to remove the token. The Ettins have a speed of 3, so we're going to have the Master Ettin move forward here. We really only need to take into account 1 square. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we can get him over there. I think that's a legal space over here on the side. And still have him adjacent. So let's have him go here. 1, 2, 3, and we'll have him end his movement just like that. We've got the other Ettin in the hallway. He needs to do the same things. First action, removing the token. It's going to move from here, 1, 2, 3, and then fill up this area like that. So now we have 3 zombies and 2 Ettins within attack range of Sir Palamon, but thanks to Ashrion's heroic feat, those Ettins do not get to attack during my turn this time. Well, let's activate the main big bad guy here. Remember, we've got 4 players in the game, so his speed is 3. That doesn't change, but his health is more and his defense is a little better. So with a speed of 3, I'm probably going to use both actions to have him move. So for his movement, let's move the Master Ogre out of the picture just for a moment. And let's just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have him stop right there. Then we need to put our ogre back. Next, we'll activate our ogres. And this big guy is going to come down the hall. And he's going to have to stop here. Because of some of the rubble there, there's no legal space for him to stop, so he's got to stop there in the hallway for now. Alright, well now we've come to the minion ogre. I believe this is the last creature on the board that I'm going to activate for my turn. Before I activate this creature, there's an important addition to the familiar, Widow Tara's familiar. With the Fury of Undeath ability played, the familiar gains a full activation. So it would technically get 2 move actions and 2 attack actions. It used 1 move action to close in on the ogre, and it attacked the ogre twice, but it still has a move action remaining. So even though it's slightly out of turn, the player wanted to make sure that I understood that, if possible, could the familiar move 3 spaces to the west? And I see what the player is wanting to do. So here, of course, we can't move through the ogre's position, but the familiar could go diagonally up here. 1, through a friendly space. 2, I'm sure he doesn't want the familiar to sit on the search token, but instead move down here, so that no creature can block this passage. It gets narrow right here. So that's a pretty good move. So as the familiar is using its move, it's going to go here 1 and 2. Pit trap. All right, we're going to play that on the familiar. Pit trap. It says, the familiar is treated as a hero here for Overlord card purposes, and it fails automatically all tests. So it fails. So that means that it suffers a point of damage and loses 1 movement point. So having already moved 2 spaces, the familiar has a speed of 3. It has to stop there, and it takes 1 point of damage. And let's see, if he has no movement points to lose, and he did lose a movement point, he's stunned. So I don't think he's stunned. So he lost his last point of movement and suffers a point of damage. The familiar here has 4 life, 4 health. I'm just going to put this 1 damage on its card. My ogre finally gets to take its action. It is going to move back 1, 2 spaces and block that passage. So that was a good try by the Widow Tara and moving her familiar. Luckily I had that card in my hand ready to use it at some point. We're going to block that passage, and the ogre is going to make an attack on the wounded familiar, hoping to be able to destroy it. Alright, so here we go. This is interesting. There are no defense dice for the familiar. So we don't roll anything. I'm just straining my eyes here. I don't see any defense die. So this is just a clear blue and yellow attack on the familiar with no dice for defense. 1 damage is already on him, so we need to do 3 more to crush him. That's 1, 2, and a surge. A surge will give me +3 damage, so that's a total of 5. That will destroy the reanimate, so I can remove his token from the board for now. I'm sure he'll be back. Alright. Well, let me give you a quick scan of the board here as we wrap things up. Widow Tara remains in the back. Hopefully I'm close enough that you can see the squares. Tomble is in the hallway, just in front of these steps here. The militiaman there. Cendril. Coming up on the Ogre Minions position. He only has 2 life left. And if you take a look, that's a narrow passage. He's blocking or sitting on all 4 of those squares. Search token remains in the upper corner. We've got some blocked terrain with the red line around it to the north and to the south. Astrion is there, and we've got Sir Palamon in this room, surrounded by 3 zombies, 2 Ettins. The big bad guy is coming down the hallway along with the Master Ogre. Behind the Master Ogre remains a search token up there. And then over this way is their spawning area with a search token in the back. So that is it. I'm going to pull back and give you a larger view here at the end. And that's the situation. So that's going to end our very first turn. All the heroes and all the Overlord's creatures have acted. So it's time to start turn number 2. Guys, I'll see you over at Facebook, and we'll pick it up with round 2. Let me know who wants to go first and what actions you'd like to take.